You ever want to smell like a pistachio latte? Come on, of course you have. So let's review the brand new Mugler Amen Stellar. Yo, what's good guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel where I upload weekly fragrance content, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss a video like this. And be sure to check me out over on my Instagram page for some more personal content and behind the scenes stuff as well. But today, we are reviewing the newest fragrance from the house of Mugler, which, man, the Amen line is back, guys, because they discontinued pretty much, I think, all of the line, if I'm not mistaken. I've honestly never really gotten into the line. I never collected any from them. This is actually the only one and the newest one I have in my collection. However, I do remember maybe 5 years or so ago, before they completely axed the Mugler line, I do remember like Pure Malt, the original, Amen, and a few others, which I know got a ton of hype. But man, Amen, like I said, is back, and the new Stellar is something to talk about. Because for being a designer fragrance, this is extremely unique and literally smells unlike any other fragrance I have in my collection or that I've smelled, so I can't wait to tell you why. I also do want to shout out Mugler for sending this one over for a review. Of course, as always, guys, in my reviews, I'm always going to keep it honest with you guys. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. Let's go with some information now. Amen Stellar was obviously launched in 2025. It just came out like the last month or so at the time of this recording, so it's brand new, hot off the shelves, guys. For the retail price, on the two sizes you can get this bottle in, the first is the 50 ml like I have in hand, will run you $75, or you can get the 100 ml, which is going to set you back $115. Now, between me and you guys, I think that's actually very reasonable for a brand new designer fragrance. That's actually not bad at all. I was expecting a 50 ml to be at least like $100. For the concentration, this is actually an eau de parfum, so you're getting a very respectable concentration, probably around like 20% oils in this one, which is extremely high. And that's another reason why I'm surprised how cheap this fragrance is at retail, because I thought this would probably be like an EDT. So no complaints whatsoever with the concentration. There are two perfumers behind Amen Stellar. The first is Louis Turner, who's actually known to be the perfumer behind Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. As we all know, that is a complete gem and basically like a icon at this point, and pretty much the fragrance that started the whole cherry trend. As well as Jacques Husseler, who's behind the Gucci Guilty and the original Mugler Amen. So they got two fantastic noses behind Amen Stellar, and I'm glad they kept the original perfumer behind Amen into the flanker, because I think honestly that's how it should be. Use that person that completed the first DNA, and any flanker after that, make him actually kind of tweak it and do his own thing with it, because hey, it is basically his creation. So with all that information out of the way, let's get the packaging and presentation you get with Amen Stellar now. Alright, so take a look at the box, which is very similar to like all of the other Amen boxes. It is a very basic designer box. Of course, Amen Stellar with that star in the background, Mugler eau de parfum. I'm not sure actually what that means right there. I don't know if it's like a stronger eau de parfum, but like I said, 50 ml. On the bottom, you will find your batch code and probably a barcode to authenticate product to see when it was produced, which is actually right there. And then some ingredients on the back, nothing on top. So let's look at the bottle now. So take a look at the bottle, which I do think does look very good, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it. You do have that star, which this one isn't see-through like the rest of them. Like the older ones used to be see-through, so you can see the color of your juice inside, or see the level of juice inside as well, which is always nice. On the bottom, you do have kind of etched into the rubber bottle some information and probably a batch code as well. Nothing on the back, nothing on top, but that is where your sprayer is, because it doesn't have a cap, as you can see right there, the atomizer. And this is a very kind of texturized rubber material, which is very different. You either love it or you hate it. In the top, you have pistachio, bergamot. In the mid, you have mint and lavender. In the base, you have coffee, tonka bean, styrax, and musk. And this will be classified as a sweet gourmand. And I don't know about you guys, but that note breakdown sounds awesome. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Honestly, terrible atomizer. I give that probably like a 3 out of 10. As you just saw, I didn't even want to squirt out at first, and it's not pressurized, of course. And it is honestly kind of hard, because it really is kind of hard to click this button on top. So be cautious of that. But let's go ahead and remind myself of the brand new Amen Stellar. So right away, I'm immediately blasted in the face of this very nutty pistachio, guys. Now the pistachio in here does come across, of course, very nutty. It also comes across very creamy. It's like a very creamy, nutty pistachio. Extremely gourmand. And I don't know about you, but I do drink a lot of like pistachio lattes. I love pistachio, guys. I always buy like pistachio creamer for my coffee, etc. And this just gives me that vibe through and through. So if you ever had a pistachio latte, it's gonna smell like this, guys. I'm not really getting much of that bergamot like whatsoever. It's not really citrusy. It's just extremely gourmand and very nutty right away. Also smells a little bit green, which I'm thinking right now in my head, they should have made this star green rather than like this kind of purplish blue, to be honest with you. I think it would fit the scent profile a lot better because of course pistachios are green and there's some other green nuances thrown into here as it dries down. But all in all, very nutty, very gourmand. And I'm usually not the biggest fan of gourmands, guys, but there's something about this that really scratches that itch for me, which is surprising. Now, as we start making our way into the mid is where those other green nuances come from, because you are gonna get this blast of mint, guys. It's a very refreshing, cooling mintiness in the mid of this, mixed together with, of course, pistachio, which is not going anywhere anytime soon. That pistachio lasts a few hours. It does start to turn a little bit fresher, more minty, etc. Not just like gourmand and nutty from that opening, but you also do get this very aromatic, creamy kind of barbershop-y lavender thrown in there. And I think the lavender is what also is giving off that creaminess from the pistachio. And I'm all for throwing some lavender into the mix, guys. Lavender is my favorite floral. I'm a big fan of it because I love my aromatics. I love my barbershop fragrances, etc. And in here, you do get a nice kind of pinch of that lavender, just to give it a little bit more depth, a little bit more character and complexity. And then finally in the base is where you're gonna get that signature Amen touch from that coffee, guys. So I know Amen's known for the coffee note. In here you are definitely gonna get a heavy dose of it. It kind of gives off this kind of toastedness, obviously a little bit gourmand, it's roasted, etc. But alongside that coffee you do get the tonka beans, which is somewhat nutty in and of itself and a little bit powdery. And maybe a little bit spicy thrown in there too. Yeah, very nutty, spicy, powdery tonka bean mixed together with that roasted coffee. And that just goes with everything I've been telling you guys, like a pistachio latte or just using like a pistachio creamer in your coffee cup. That's the vibe that this gives off from the top, mid, and base. Because of course you get the pistachio, which is the flavor. You get that kind of lavender creaminess, which is the creamer. And then of course you get that base of the coffee, which is of course the coffee note. So for any gourmand lover watching this video, I think you have to get your nose on Amen Stellar, because that's coming from somebody that's not the biggest fan of gourmands, and I still think this is an excellent release. Plus, it's going to be readily available at like Macy's, Dillard's, like any department store. You can go in, check it out, get your nose on it, and see how you like it. Because I think this might be the only pistachio fragrance targeted towards men, at least from a designer. There's not many of them. I know so many pistachio fragrances targeted towards women and leaning more on the feminine side. This one doesn't do that, guys. This is a pistachio fragrance for the men out there. So if you want to be a little bit different, you want to smell unique, I think this is a great designer release for that. So for the best seasons to rock Amen Stellar, for me, guys, I'm primarily rocking this one in 3 seasons, which is going to be the spring, fall, and winter. So I think it does suit the colder weather a little bit better. So for springtime, I'm sticking for like spring evenings. It's definitely a more kind of going out evening style fragrance as well, rather than like a daytime fragrance. It just kind of gives off night vibes, which, hey, I'm all about them night vibe fragrances, guys, and this is definitely one of them. You know, just kind of going out to the town, guys, the city life at night with all the beautiful lights. That's the fragrance this kind of gives off. So spring, fall, and winter is what I would recommend with Amen Stellar. Not so much the summertime. There's nothing citrusy about this, nothing aquatic about this, nothing extremely bright about it. Just very kind of sweet, gourmand, a little bit minty, but still it doesn't really go in completely minty direction, with of course the coffee and tonka bean, which definitely does suit the colder weather rather than the warm weather. For occasion, I do think this is very versatile. The kind of fragrance you can wear dressed down, you can wear it dressed up. So doesn't really matter what you're wearing, what you're doing. I think this fragrance does kind of suit whatever attire you got on, because this isn't really like a extremely sophisticated fragrance. There's nothing extremely classy about it, but there's also nothing extremely like underdressed about it either, guys. It's just kind of right down the middle. If you want to wear this one dressed down, going out at night, you can do it. Like going to a club, wearing something like this, you know what I mean? Like a Yeezy Gap shirt. Or if you want to dress up a little bit, you can do that as well, like in a night attire. Like I've been saying, guys, definitely the fragrance that does suit the evening environment rather than day environment. So dressing down going out in the evening or dressing up going out in the evening, this is the fragrance that will do it. So for gender, guys, of course, this is targeted towards the men out there. They do have a women's release called Angel Stellar, which I have right over there. You probably can't see it because the bottle lays flat, which I'm not a fan of at all, but that smell is beautiful on a lady, guys. That's also a pistachio fragrance, kind of similar to this, but this is a much more masculine take on that DNA. So I would just categorize this one as masculine, guys. This one's gonna be for the boys. This is not for the women. So if you're a woman watching this one, check out Angel Stellar. I think you'll enjoy it better. It's going to smell better on you and just smells way more feminine, obviously. But yeah, nice having a pistachio fragrance for the guys out there because, like I said, extremely rare and extremely unique. And I think that barbershop-y kind of aromatic lavender, the roasted coffee, is what's bringing out that more masculine side. So for age groups now, I think this one could be targeted as both youthful and mature at the end of the day, because there's nothing extremely mature about it. It's also nothing extremely youthful about it either. So anybody can rock this, no matter the age. If you're in your late teens, if you're over 40 years old, you can wear Amen Stellar and just enjoy it. Ahead, I can picture somebody younger wearing it, and I can also picture somebody older wearing it. It's just kind of that kind of fragrance, very versatile down the line, all age groups pretty much. Because I can definitely see some younger guys going into like Macy's, Dillard's, wanting to pick something out that's brand new, hot off the shelves. I can see a lot of them targeting towards this, but I can also see the younger crowd that are used to like the original Amen, which has been around for a very long time, wanting the new flanker and also pulling it off. So yeah, that's my answer for that. Now, wrapping the review off, talking on the performance you guys are gonna get from the brand new Amen Stellar. Now, like I said, this is an eau de parfum concentration. From my testing, guys, on skin, I got about average performance from it, which means I got around that 8-hour mark of longevity, which is still fairly good. I have no real complaints about an 8-hour longevity fragrance, especially when it is an EDP like it, which of course means if you spray this on in the morning, you go to like a day job, an 8-hour shift, etc., it will get you through the majority of the day, not something you have to reapply or anything like that, which is great. Now, as far as projection goes, guys, on my testing, I got about moderate projection, which means people around you will be able to detect it, but I would probably say it would be around like an arm's length of distance. So anybody kind of in that scent bubble, if you're standing still at least, guys, which is the projection, is going to be able to smell you within that range. Now, if you're walking around, you got that sillage behind you, you got that wind moving off of your skin, people will detect it a little bit more with the sillage, etc., and you will smell like delicious pistachio latte that everybody's going to detect when you're walking around and moving. But still, moderate projection at the end of the day, so 8 hours of longevity and moderate projection, which is about average down the line, guys. And that's usually the kind of performance I get from a gourmand. For some reason, I have not really come across a gourmand that's an absolute beast mode, room filling projector, or longevity, guys. There's just something about this DNA. I don't know if it's just my skin, even though I try to moisturize as much as possible with like that CeraVe to get my skin not like alligator skin, or it's just like gourmands don't work that good on me when it comes to the performance. I'm curious the kind of performance you guys get from Amen Stellar, but still very respectable for an EDP. Now, that's gonna do it for my review of the brand new launch, guys, from Mugler, Amen Stellar. I know they just launched a Phantasm flanker as well, I think last year, which I haven't tried, but I'm very curious if you guys have gotten your nose on this fragrance. What are your thoughts on it? If you picked up a bottle, if you're thinking about picking up a bottle, let's discuss that down in the comments below. But as always, guys, leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already, because what are you doing? And I'll see all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.